Hello YouTube, what's up guys? It's me, Ren. If you hear my youngest sibling playing Valorant in the background, no you don't. Are you propped up on top of a glass, which I just drank out of? Yes you are. Is that a microphone in the background? Am I using it? No I'm not. However, what I am using is my close friend, Charlie, also known as Charles Dementia Chorbulus something, did me the kindness of talking to me yesterday afternoon about the top 10 songs of 2012. So I'm going to be incorporating his opinions in with my opinions as I share them with you. So you're going to be getting basically like double the action, double the value, okay? You didn't even know it, but this is saving you time, actually, by watching this video. You're gaining time back, which you could have wasted without this arrangement. But now I'm giving it back to you, so I'm actually gifting you. Okay, this is a gift of me to you. Now, without further ado, I want to talk about the number 10 most popular song of 2012, which happens to be What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction. In the chorus of this song, one of the dudes in One Direction, FTM passing tips derogatory, as Charlie would put it, says, "You don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful." And this is truly the crux of the song, right? And it's something that I actually have more issue with than you could possibly imagine, okay? Because there are actually many facets of structural misogyny of which I have not personally had much issue with. I mean, I have issue with them, of course, but personally, I've not been injured by so much. But the notion that these lyrics allude to in our culture is one that I have struggled with, personally. And it happens to be quite a doozy, okay? So it's the idea that the ideal woman or the ideal girl is meek and humble to a fault. Imagine, the girl in your art class who you'd go up to her and you'd be like, "Wow, that's cool, that's a good art." And she'd be like, No, it isn't. It's actually so bad. It's literally the worst thing that's ever been made in the entire history of the known world as we know it. And it basically looks like dog shit. Like I smeared dog shit. Like I put my hands under my beagle's ass and I took the shit and I put it in a Tupperware and I brought it to school and I put it on the page, right? So why are you complimenting it? And then you have to sit there and be like, no, I swear it's good. And she'll be like, no. And you're like, yes. And she's like, no. Until eventually one of you gets eaten by the event horizon, right? And so you can probably tell from my tone that I don't like when people are like that. I am a painfully earnest person. I do not know what to do when you present me with such ridiculousness, okay? I just cannot process it. It short circuits my critical faculties, okay? So it's annoying for me to be around this kind of behavior, but, which is encouraged by this notion, right? But also it annoys me to be compared to this behavior and found wanting somehow. Like I'm doing something wrong when I'm not a sniveling little bitch. Like that just really, I don't know, that just really gets to me for some reason, right? And this whole What Makes You Beautiful kind of orbits around the idea of the meek woman, the ideal of the meek woman. Now what Charlie had to say about this was, I'll just read it flat out for you in the blue Times New Roman that it was written in. You'll be able to hear in my voice that it's blue in Times New Roman. There is a certain threshold of humility that is like the general expectation for being a decent person or whatever, and then all women are expected to go above and beyond that. The ideal woman exceeds expectations all the time, always. Now, I heavily agree with this. I think humility is definitely the word that I would use to describe um, the chiefness that the chief attribute that women are supposed to have a lot of the time is you it's not just that you have to be feminine and you have to be um, docile and you have to be submissive to men and all this other shit. It's also you, even if when you're succeeding at being those things, you can't be outwardly aware of it. You can't be like, right, yeah, I was so submissive last night. Like, that's not allowed, okay? That's not allowed. You have to be like, oh no, I wasn't submissive enough. Was I? Was I breedable and submissive enough? That's a meme, mom. That's a meme. If you see this, that's a meme. It's a joke, it's a meme, okay? Don't be concerned. But yeah, it's just, I think maybe if you're encountering this and you don't already agree with me, this is going to be a hard sell. But I am a hard sell. And if you're not interested in that, you can leave. I'm expecting you to have a baseline level of feminist acknowledgments already to understand what I'm talking about. That women are encouraged and are praised for being meek and for being humble and having a lot of humility to an extent which is frankly unreasonable. And I think that is that whole notion and the nice guy um, forcing or the nice guy propeller behind that is really exemplified in what makes you beautiful. It's John Green Tumblr Girl is the person they're singing about. Is the girl who her humility and her lack of understanding of her beauty is what makes her attractive to them. It's like the key phrase when it is, you don't know you're beautiful, that's what makes you beautiful. The flip side of it is, you know you're beautiful, therefore you're not. It's like, wow, that's kind of shit. Like this song, What Makes You Beautiful, doesn't exist without a unspoken other woman who is worse, right? There's a bit in the verse where one of the dudes says, "Don't need makeup to cover up," and it's like, well, you wouldn't say, "Don't need shit poop on your face," because nobody puts shit poop on their face, right? So you're saying don't need makeup to cover up, implicitly deriding the women who do need makeup to cover up, as if that's some part of the population. Ostensibly women who wear makeup and women who know that they're attractive, right? This song is like the pick me anthem. It's like, you are not like those other girls, I promise. I think in the past 5 years or so, we focused a lot on the I'm not like other girls, but I think we've really ignored the male encouragement of that, which just really, I don't know, it gets to me because I think in inventing these I'm not like other girls and complaining about them, we are once again taking the ravages of societal misogyny and finding women to punish for them instead of actually doing any structural critique in and of itself. So, yeah, What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction? We should hate it more, I think. Does it sound fine? Yes. But I just hate it. I just think it sucks. I just think it's fucking shit. And it makes me mad. When I hear it, I'm like, God damn. Could I be more mad? Probably. Am I? No, I'm actually very mad already. So nobody tell me anything else that would make me mad in this moment. Otherwise, I'm going to combust. Now, I've already spent 9.5 minutes talking about one song, so I think I should probably pick up the pace. Let's talk about Starships by Nicki Minaj. Okay, now, this song sounds like my childhood. I know a lot of the people watching this are Kiwis, so you should know that when I went to school in the US in elementary, we had what you guys call jump jam, but it was like different. It was like American jump jam, right? And one of the songs we would play for jump jam, American version, was Starships by Nicki Minaj, but it was, I do know how to pronounce her name. I'm just doing it on purpose to be wrong for funsies, okay? Do not send your stands to dox me and threaten to bomb my siblings' schools, Barbs. But anyway, bomb threats aside, there was the Kids Bop remix of this song, which instead of saying we're higher than a motherfucker, they say we're Kids Bop and we're taking over. I think that's necessary. That's a necessary information for you to understand my feelings about this song. When I listen to it, it sounds like it was Kids Bop originally, and then they like changed some of it to be inappropriate for children. Like they reverse Kids Bopped something, even though I know that's not the case, because it sounds like nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, higher than a motherfucker, the line? What motherfucker? Snoop Dogg? Snoop Doggy Dogg? When I wrote that joke in my notes, Charlie had to write the extra G after Snoop Dogg. So thanks, Charlie. I hope when I pronounced that you could hear the extra G that Charlie added. Yeah, I think Charlie's a fan of this song, so I don't want to be too mean. Actually, just kidding. He put a 6.5. I put a 6 for this one, so actually I don't feel bad at all. Now, We Found Love by Rihanna and Calvin Harris. Sounds like nothing. Sounds like tonic water. Sounds like seltzer, which I used to pour in the mud and make mud cakes out of with my friend Ella when we were young and still friends. It's just very boring. It's got by the time I've heard this song as many times as I often hear it in one weekend when I go clubbing in Wellington, because no DJs have a life outside of reminiscing on 2012 apparently. We Found Love, the phrase doesn't even sound real. It sounds like some kind of incantation of pain and suffering, okay? It's like, we found love, what does that mean? Is she resurrecting the dead? I don't know. Kind of sounds like maybe she's trying and failing to resurrect the dead. It's just not, it's very much soulless Calvin Harris song, I'd say. Now, Stronger What Doesn't Kill You by Kelly Clarkson is truly, for me, it's one of my car sickness songs, okay? It comes on, and suddenly I'm in the car, I'm on I-95, and there's still an hour and a half until I'm at my grandma's house, and I feel like I'm gonna puke. That's the vibe, okay? It's too slow to be camp. Like, there's an energy that's needed for camp that Kelly Clarkson has, but the instrumental does not, if you get where I'm going with that. Charlie says, this song feels like it was written by a real person. She could be in my maths class. And I think that's fair. I think that's real, but also to me, maybe not in a good way, right? I think it sounds like the kind of song that you're in 8th grade and you just got dumped by the boy you were seeing for 2 weeks, and you were like, wow, I'm gonna write a song like Taylor Swift. And so you got out your pink sparkly Justice notebook with the fake lock on the outside, and you wrote some of the first shit that came to your head, including as many cliches as possible. And then somehow you also had a record deal and were Kelly Clarkson, right? It's just, It has not good enough vibes all over it. It's like, it's saying like, I want to be the previous Kelly Clarkson songs that were good. I Want to Be Since You've Been Gone, but I can't. So I'm just going to be this. Which is just a really loser attitude that I cannot tolerate, okay? If you could not tell. Glad You Came by The Wanted. Charlie comment. This sounds like how I imagine the floor of Dakota Bar smells at 4 in the morning. Yes. I actually made this video before. I just didn't like the version that I made enough, so I'm making it again. And originally I only said one sentence about this song, and that sentence was, never has a sexual innuendo sounded more like a hangover. And I want to amend that slightly and say hangover in waiting, okay? Because this song is not the hangover. This song is the point in the night where you've just realized you're not having very much fun, but you've already drank so much that you're dreading the hangover tomorrow. So it's like the cost-benefit analysis is coming up short. Yeah, it's just that, okay? And we watched this music video, and I realized how repetitive this song is as well. Because it's like, I'm pretty sure the first verse and the second verse are just repeated, which is quite lazy, especially given that they follow this really obnoxious pattern where it's like, hand you another drink, drink it if you can you spend a little time, and it repeats the last word of the previous line in the first word of the next line. And they do that twice. It's like they made a song for people who were so drunk that they could not remember what happened 30 seconds ago. And if you're that drunk, don't go home with one of the guys from The Wanted. All right. Number 5, Lights by Ellie Goulding. Charlie loves this one. Charlie, big fan of Lights by Ellie Goulding. Me, not so much. I think it's good. It's good. I like it. But I've heard it a bazillion times, and there's just a limit. There's just a limit for me. It was actually really funny that I went on Genius to see if there were any cool comments that Ellie Goulding had made about what the song is about, because obviously it's very esoteric. I kind of connect it to, in my head, I connect it to, like, what is it? That Monsters and Men song, Little Talks. If you know Little Talks, it kind of has a similar vibe. Like, maybe it's about death, but, like, you can't really tell. But anyway, I went on the Genius page, and Ellie Goulding said, it's about when I was afraid of the dark. I still am. And then a bunch of people were in the comments and were, like, pissed. They were so mad. They were like, no, I thought it was so cool, but actually it's just about being fucking scared like a fucking baby in the fucking dark, like a baby. And you know what? You know what I thought? No, because I'm that. This is a butter knife. I am afraid of the dark still as a grown person. And sometimes it is esoteric. It is ghostly, and it does ricochet through your past and make you feel inhuman and crazy and like an alien. And that vibe is not so simple. It's not so childish as you may think. It deserves a song like Lights by Ellie Goulding, I think. And I find it interesting that a song about adult insomnia and fear of the dark was as popular as it was. I frankly appreciate it as one of such sufferers. But it has been played too many times for me. So that's that on that. Payphone by Maroon 5. Man, fuck that shit, as Wiz Khalifa says in his first line on this song, his first bar. Man, fuck this shit. Really could have gone without his feature, could have gone without Adam Levine's voice, could have gone without the instrumental, could have really just gone without this entire song, I think, Our Culture. My favorite comment from Charlie was about the music video. this is really a weird as fuck fantasy for Adam Levine to have. Like, what's going on with this man? I really agree. I really agree with Charlie there, because if you haven't seen this music video, it's probably on my top 10 like worst music videos I've ever seen, right up there with Sweetest Pie and Bon Appetit, because it's like what happens, it's like Adam Levine is in a bank and he's with his girlfriend in a bank, and then these bank robbers come and start shooting up the bank, and then he escapes with his girlfriend, and the police somehow think that they're the bank robbers, and so they go on a car chase, but he leaves his girlfriend, so he's like calling his girlfriend from a payphone under an underpass, and meanwhile he also like causes a bunch of cop cars to like run into each other and burn it. Of course there's the slow-mo shot when he's like in his undershirt and he's standing and it's like and you can see it in his eyes, he almost turns around and says, well, that just happened, but he doesn't, because the entire video is riddled with gunshots, so the song was already fucked enough without dialogue. Now, I feel like there's something to be said about this song sounding like the movies that the music video seems to be inspired by. I'm talking about Marvel. I'm talking about that kind of bland, you recognize this person, you recognize this face, so you must like this, kind of cookie cutter, but also somehow like missing something. Like, I hear payphone and I'm like, what? Who wrote this, and why were they either hungry, thirsty, or tired, or high? Probably all of those. Like, they just wrote it with the vibes of somebody who needed something right now and they don't have it and it's bad. I need to drink some water. I'm actually really thirsty. So if you guys just like... Okay, I drank some water. Thanks for waiting. I'm not restarting this. I'm already 22 minutes in. Now, I want to finish up my thoughts on payphone with a little anecdote from when I was a child. I listened to this song, and there was a part where he says, Adam Levine says, if Happy Ever After did exist, I would still be holding like you like this. And for some reason, when I was a small child, I didn't hear this correctly, and I thought he said, if Happy Ever After did have sex, I would still be holding you like this. And I guess the reason I thought that made sense was because I thought, oh, well, if they have sex, then they have a little baby Happy Ever After. So, like, there was the original Happy Ever After, and then there was, like, the baby one that would be him holding his girlfriend, right? I don't know what... No, I do know what was wrong with me. It was autism, but someone needed to intervene, guys. Someone needed to help me. Also, I think the song kind of deserves that, to be real. I think it kind of deserves to have me misunderstand it further. Who knows, maybe in the music video that line was covered up by gunshots. Okay. We Are Young by Fun, featuring Janelle Monáe. Now, I want to say, back in 2012 when I heard this song, and I did hear this song in 2012, I didn't know there was a woman on it. That's how badly it is produced. I know that Charlie's a big fan, so I'm not going to rag too hard, but I think Fueled by Ramen sucks ass. We hate Fueled by Ramen. Me and all my homies at Fueled by Ramen, okay? Hope that didn't make you flinch, Charlie. Now, I appreciate Fueled by Ramen for making music that I like exist. I also hate it for making music that I like probably less good than it would have been if it was released by, you didn't see that, someone else, okay? And I think We Are Young is yet another example, because I think Anthony Fantano, I think he said, I think he said. I think I'm just going to repeat those words until you click away and become exhausted. But he said that this song suffers from shitty verse syndrome or something, but I don't think that's true because I can remember everything. Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting higher than the Empire State. You know, my lover, she's waiting for me just across the bar. The seat, been taken by some sunglasses, you know. It it's very memorable, okay? And shitty verses don't tend to be memorable to me. I like the melodies, I like the lyrics, I think it captures an interesting emotion. I just wish the production was a little bit better, and I think they wasted Janelle Monáe. So, for that, that's a B. Okay, Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. I like this song. I'm a fan. This is probably the song on this list that I've come back to the most, even if it embarrasses me to say that. It was written by the guy from Marianas Trench, and if you know anything about me, you know I had an aggressive Marianas Trench phase a couple years ago, and there's a reason for that. He's a really interesting songwriter, I think, because he's made a lot of songs that sound very dated, but are still very attractive to me when I go back to listen to them. Like, there are dated songs where I hear them and I'm like, ew, boo, no more, tomato, tomato. But his dated songs, it's like a car crash I can't look away from. And that's kind of what Call Me Maybe is. Like it's a car accident that's also really hot and sexy. Okay, somebody that I used to know was both me and Charlie's favorite on the top 10. And the reason for that is because it sounds good. For me, I like that it's a song structure. It has a song structure that isn't very common to the pop charts. And it tells an interesting story, this kind of construction and reconstruction of a relationship narrative that you first go along with the man's perspective, where he's talking about his ex being now neglectful and how he never really felt right in their relationship, and how, oh, she's fucked him over after their breakup. And then she kind of comes in and tears it all down, particularly, with the line, you told me that you wouldn't get hung up on somebody that you used to know. Kind of taking his words and pointing out how actually they did talk about this. And he asked for what he's getting from her now. And he's the one who's being manipulative and emotionally unintelligent in the way that he's been presumably going around and talking shit about her. Charlie says that even though Kimbra has a smaller part, it's her song. It's the woman's song, and I totally agree. I think that, there's the old adage, there are three sides to every story, mine, yours, and the truth. And I think this song is a duet that explores that in a way that basically no other pop songs have in the 2010s. The idea that, it is gendered, the way that this happens, the way that two partners in a heterosexual relationship where there's a man and a woman kind of go forth and talk about each other and write their narratives about each other. And then the actual truth is, well, I'm not saying like, oh, Kimbra, her part is wrong, but it's the actual truth of the breakup is in hearing it all kind of unfold in that last section where Kimbra is just kind of wailing over him saying the same shit that he was saying in the beginning. Like, I feel like I've witnessed this breakup. Like, I know these people, you know these people. And it's a gendered story, but it's also it's not like a feminist statement. Like, I would never say that about this song. It's just, I guess, gender to me in the way that everything is, and not trying to hide it. And I really like in the video, the music video for the song, how the woman, how she actually frees herself from the painting that the man has had constructed around them. I think that's really powerful, and it just makes it wholly clear like what the song is talking about, and the kind of critique of breakup narratives that it is like dealing with. So I just think it's fascinating that it was the number one hit song of 2012. Like, that's really amazing to me. Anyway, I'm frankly shocked that I finally finished filming this video. You have no idea how many times I tried yesterday night. But all in all, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. My jaw hurts and I have to drink more water. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'll see you another time. Bye.